Hey, all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly values, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. Hey there, everybody. How is everyone doing? Today, is everyone doing all right? We got a lot to talk about. We got a lot to talk about with this clip because the bed wenchery was on full display. I want to talk about a couple of things. I want to talk about the lineage of the people that were on the show. We know that Myron is not an American Black man. Myron is like Arab African, right? His lineage and his heritage is like from Eastern Africa. So we know that a lot of Arabs are there who mixed blood with the Africans that were there, the Eritreans, the Ethiopians. Okay, he's Sudanese, the Sudanese. Same situation there, right? So we know that there is an Arab ancestry. In short, he's not an American Black man, okay? He melanated. He's just not American. Thank you, TD. Tell him, say, cook him with some olive oil. I'm here for it. Exactly. Thank you, Barry said, for the barbecue. I like my fresh and fit colonizers, hyenas, and that gerbil Fuentes burnt to a crisp. Thank you. Also, fresh is Myron, right? And no, fresh is the other one. Fit is Myron. So fresh is from Barbados, I do believe. Okay. So neither of these two men, although melanated men, although Black men, are not American Black men. Now, they may have been Americanized, but they are not American Black men. Thank you, Malika. Said salutations, good sister. There was even rumor that a lot of the ladies themselves were not American Black women. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. That they were. Some people across the internet were saying that Fresh and Fit were not going to get a lot of backlash because they are not American Black. And so therefore, they don't have the same sentiment, or they don't have the same viewpoint about Nick Fuentes being an open, self-proclaimed white supremacist as Black Americans would have. And to a certain extent, that's kind of true. Other Blacks from across the diaspora don't. Is it blurry for you guys? Because it doesn't seem to be recording that way, but when I look on the playback, it's not as crisp. And mind you, this is the same camera that I've been using. I have not changed I have not changed any of the equipment that I'm using. So it's interesting to me that it is not coming through crisp when it is on high def. So I'm going to have to figure that out at some point because, wow, it looks like a PS2. Like, am I pixelated? Thank you, Dee. Say yes, yes. So glad to hear your voice on this. Thank you so much. I actually just took it down a notch, the resolution. So hopefully this is a little bit better. I'm not real sure why it's not as crisp, but you can see me and that's what's important. Thank you, Original Man said, militant in the streets, colonized in the sheets. Exactly. The reason why I'm bringing up Fresh and Fit's lineage is because they're getting a pass for having a white supremacist on there. They're getting the pass that Just Pearly Things did not get. Now, I understand why Miss Pearly Things didn't get that pass. I get that. But the point that I'm really trying to make is white supremacy is not an American thing. We may feel a way about it and the experiences of our ancestors and the systemic racism that we understand here in the Americas. But white supremacy and colonization is not exclusive to North America or the United States. These other places, all over the motherland, all over South America, all over Central America, the Caribbean, okay, and other parts of the world where there have been melanated people, there has also been white supremacy because there has been colonization. Now, why is that important? Because I actually don't understand why other melanated people from across the diaspora don't have a problem with every colonizer, every white supremacist, every one of them. I apologize that it's blurry. I can't really fix that at this moment. I'm going to look into maybe why it's doing that. I don't know if the camera's going out or what, but we'll correct the issues going forward. My apologies. There has been colonization everywhere. I mean, I'm trying to focus it because it'll bother me on the playback. I actually brought the resolution down a bit because it was up. Anyway, thank you, Abik. Says it's called a mental blind spot. Very dangerous. I don't know why every melanated person whose ancestry was ever affected by any form of colonization, even if it wasn't flat out slavery, you should feel a way about every white supremacist and colonizer because it's the same mindset. They don't like you either. Just because you might have came from Cuba or Haiti or the Dominican or Brazil or Trinidad and Tobago, like it doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter if your ancestry is East African or West African. It doesn't matter if your ancestry was South African or Central African. It doesn't matter if your ancestry was Pacific Islander, if you melanated. It doesn't matter. All the colonization happened to melanated areas and civilizations and societies across the world, not just in America. Just because your lineage wasn't necessarily a part of the transatlantic slave trade doesn't mean that you had a better relationship with the colonizer than we did. Because there are places that were colonized in the 17 and 1800s that are still on the books colonized. They're still the territories of United Kingdom and Britain and all of this other stuff. Thank you, Eugene Steele said, Pearl laugh with Nick and say something disingenuous about slavery and she does not get a pass. Fresh and Fit knows hyenas encourage Nick to say the N-word. Fit puts on that ugly mask and they get a pass. Make that make sense. I'm trying to make it make sense because I have not seen the viral backlash against Fresh and Fit having Nick Fuentes on that lasted for nearly a month when Just Pearly Things did it. The whole internet was ablaze when Pearl laughed with Nick and was chummy with him about it. And it wasn't just Black women that were saying something about Pearl. We got hit with, including me, when I spoke up about Pearl getting chummy with Nick Fuentes. I got hit with, you're jealous of her because of her subscriber count. Now we saw a circle of bed wenches. People keep on trying to say, but these wasn't American Black women. I happen to have found out that they were. And even if they were not, it doesn't absolve the bed wenchery. That's not absolved. They sat there and laughed and kikied with a man that don't like them. I'm going to tell you what's so wrong with a bed wench. I'm going to tell you what's so wrong with a bed wench. I'm going to tell you, before we truly get into it, I'm going to tell you why they could sit up there and laugh and kiki with Nick Fuentes. Because the highest honor for these bed wenching hyenas is for a known white male white supremacist to talk to them nicely. They want that. That's the highest honor to them. The highest honor to them is that a known white supremacist male speaks cordially to them, because in their mind, they think that if he talks to them cordially, that somehow his disdain, his contempt for everybody melanated, everybody that's not him and his ilk, that somehow that contempt does not reach to them. Somehow it bypasses them. He don't feel that way about them because he's speaking nicely. When has the colonizer not speaking nicely to you? In order to colonize to the extent that they have all over the world, the first thing they do to you is send you a missionary that is talking nice to you. They send somebody that's telling you about and reaching out to you seemingly from a humanitarian level. Seemingly, they are reaching out to you in order to, quote unquote, help you. In order to, quote unquote, try to see you the same way and try to see you on equal playing ground and, try to talk to you like you a human being. Meanwhile, in the back of their mind, nobody is human except them. This is white supremacy colonizing 101. Thank you, HVAC. Say in the South, we call them bed bucking wrenches. Umar, this is what we supposed to work with. They are doing nothing but having good character with people that you don't like. Just because somebody smile in your face do not mean that they like you. Colonizers and white supremacists, I have had such good conversations. Just out in public, you be out in public, I know they racist. You can look at them and tell they don't like black people. But we could be standing in a line or doing something and one of them will turn to me. Yeah, this is messed up. This weather's good, or whatever he's saying. Ha 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 ha. Okay, I don't have any kind of, this person really kick it with me. No, he don't. No, he don't. And we ain't got to walk far down the road for me to find that out. We ain't got to walk far down the road for him to show it to me. That was just a passing moment. That was just a moment. They could be nice to you at work. They could be nice. They know how, because they know how to get by in the world. You don't be the world minority and then be able to colonize the majority by being rude all the time. You gotta have the nice hand, and then you got the one that's gonna stab you in your face. You pet with this hand, stab with that hand. Duh. So you always, this is where the myth of the good white folk come from, because we get so caught up with them smiling and hey and being cordial and being cool and all that type of stuff. We get caught up with that because we constantly looking for validation from white people, because in the back of your mind, you're not as good as them. So anytime they come through and they cheese and say what's up and act like they cool and act like, you know what I'm saying, we all good, Negroes that's cooning and bed wenching always get to, that's always good old white man. That's a good old white man. That's a good white man. What's wrong with y'all? It's 2023 and you still bed bucking? You still bed wenching? Thank you, Preem. Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you so much, Mercer, for the super sticker. And thank you, J.S. Hooper said, you notice how Umar is ducking and dodging this with nothing to say. He goes live immediately about Bronny James prom date, Miles Morales, Spider-Verse. Because that's neither here nor there. I'm going to show a little bit of the clip. The first thing that I want to show is somebody else kind of covered it. I'm not so much interested in his commentary on it, so much as he summed up the when they wanted to do the N-word part. So as a matter of fact, let me see if I can share real quick.
Here it is. Thanks for it and gave it to you. I don't know yet. Thanks for it. Are ratchet and don't know how to converse. End quote. Fuentes appeared on the podcast's latest episode, which was released July 8th. The host invited 8 Black women on the podcast to help co-host, as women do regularly appear on the podcast as the show welcomes an opposing view. And at one point, this also happened during the interview. Here it is. Thanks for it and gave it to you. I don't know yet.
What is the point, Myron? What is the point?
Bro, we're finished, bro. We're finished. All right, then let's.
Well, you can say it.
Say it. Come on, man. I want you to say it.
For real. I want to hear what you got.
You want me to say it?
Yes.
Is anyone going to hit me if I say it?
No. 2 hours. Come on, Nick. What you got?
All right.
Now I'm going to stop sharing for a second. I'm going to share some more. And the conversation that they are having is not important. What I want y'all to concentrate on is the demeanor. I'm going to just play about 30 seconds to a minute of it. And I want y'all to look at the demeanor of the women. The only one that had any kind of pushback at all was the one that was sitting next to Myron. She was the only one that even kinda wasn't with it, because even when they was encouraging him to say the N-word with the hard ER, she was shaking her head. She was the only one like, no, like, don't say that. Like, don't say that. And this is the so-called, let me point something else out. This is the so-called mixed chick. The ones that hyenas be jealous of and don't like all the time and be always talking about they not really black and they not really on code and they're not all of that type of stuff. That's her. Now, mind you, she don't get too much of a pass, because I think in the little clip she was talking about how her little boyfriend or whatever was white boy. I don't call it race mixing. I call it interracial dating. So she bad with you too. So every last one of them is problematic. Let me get that straight. But at least she had the wherewithal to say, don't say that word. But I just want y'all to just look at the demeanor. That's all I want you to do. It's what they talked about, not important. Here we go.
Somebody had something over here.
I just feel like it was the same message, but different verbiage.
Yeah, and that's what makes it different. Like, I'm okay. Like, before we got on air, we were talking because somebody on my Instagram live asked me to ask him would he date a black girl, and he said it with a smile. No,
Right.
And I said, okay, I don't care because I wouldn't date a white man.
That's fine.
That's right.
And then he called me racist.
Well, I said that as a joke, though. I said that laughingly, in a friendly way. Well, but here's the thing. We are saying a different thing, because you're saying culture, but I'm saying race.
Exactly.
And I think that, but here's the thing. I feel like if a white person talks about their race and the way that black people talk about theirs, they get called racist. But you said you want to have black babies because you want the black race to continue. That's why I want to have white kids, because I want the white race to continue.
Well, it's racist because of historical and because of systemic racism that runs in white culture.
So, but what's racist about me wanting to have white kids?
Nothing is racist about you, particularly because you're 24 years old. However, coming from a white, an Anglo background, our country was built on the backs of slaves and or taking people's land and or acting like it's ours. It's always going to be there. So, and the fact that white proud guys go, we're the superior race, so you can't act like that doesn't happen either. So just because you're sitting here going, oh, well, I'm different, I like y'all, I'm just not gonna date y'all.
But both people didn't mention anything about superior. Even I did not mention anything about.
No, I didn't say that.
She's saying that
culturally and historically, that's what I'm saying.
She's
Like,
saying
I'm
the
not saying nobody said that.
Oh, so like societally now the air is different because
Systemic racism is real.
His ancestors might have had like totally bad intentions.
They did.
I don't even think it's too far removed from him.
No, my ancestors are bad.
Now, I'm going to stop sharing that. And like I said, the conversation that they were having, not important to me because it's all bed wench babble, right? I don't want to get into what they said, then what he said, because it's not important. Colonizing is colonizing. White supremacists all say the same thing because they all think the same thing, because they all want the same thing. Colonization has all gone the same way everywhere. It has its own salient features, its own talking points, and that's it. So we don't really need to go into the particulars of his viewpoint because I don't care. I don't give a rat's behind about Nick Fuentes, his heritage, his so-called whiteness, what he think and what he don't think. None of that has ever been important to me. It will never be important to me. He's not important to me. So we don't even need to pick apart nothing he's talking about. It don't even matter what he's talking about. What matters is that there was a room full of bed wenches and bucks and coons. Because I don't care if Myron is not American Black. He's a Nigger to every white supremacist. They don't care what his lineage is because they've colonized all of it anyway. That was the point that I was trying to make in the beginning. He don't get an exemption from white supremacists feeling a way about him, because if he had been in America during the time of heavy lynchings, he'd have been swinging from a tree just like everybody else. The fact that our ancestors was even over here, they were from the motherland. The ones that came over here under slavery was from the motherland, the majority of them. They colonized over there and brought them over here. First, they was trying to colonize the melanated people that was here, the native people that was here. They tried to colonize them first. Thank you, Olmec said you are so right, and thanks for staying on code. Thank you so much. He felt so comfortable as to put on a pointy hat, a pointy hood. And what's that supposed to be? Because their audience is mixed. It's not, I don't know if their audience is primarily Black men, but I know that they have mixed audience because they have mixed guests. So they don't always have Black people on their show. Sometimes they have white girls or Hispanic girls or whatever. They have all kind of girls as long as they 304s out of Miami. And then they'll have every kind of dude. You know, they've had white dudes, Black dudes, all kind of dudes that talk about maybe red pill or manosphere topics or things of that nature. So I can only assume that their subscriber base is mixed too. And this is why I'm not really hearing that backlash. Because the subscribers that are not Black probably agree with Nick Fuentes. See, I saw a lot of comments that did agree with him and talked about how he was on point with a lot of stuff that he was saying. Thank you, Original Man said stay on code, hold the line. Thank you so much. See, I don't watch Fresh and Fit. I see clips like everybody else. Thank you, Original Man said let's hold them accountable. My apologies. I'm going to get into these bed wenches, but after these messages, we'll be right back.
Friends and family, I would like you to check out blackcommunityspeak.com. Now, blackcommunityspeak.com is a forum-based website, so something that's very simple, where you can get on, you can get off, get involved with a lot of topics. Now, Black Community Speaks is a place that's for Black men and women to talk about issues that's affecting the entire community. So on blackcommunityspeak.com, they talk about topics in the range of news, what's going on in society, relationships, technology, business, food and recipes, gaming, health and fitness, music, and many, many more. On Black Community Speak, it's a place where you can be safe to say what you want to say without the fear of big tech censorship. So make sure you head on over to blackcommunityspeak.com and sign up today.
All right, so what you want to do is I pinned it to the top of the chat. You want to go to blackcommunityspeak.com and join the forum. It's completely free. It's a wonderful looking forum. It's nice and clean. You know how some forums might be a little bit jumbled and you don't quite know where to go. It's not even pleasing to the eye. This one actually is. The brother that created it wanted to create a space where Black men and Black women could openly speak about the issues that face us as individual groups and as a community, and speak in a way that is positive and in a way that is more solution oriented or driven. And so if you would like to have a place where our voices can be heard without all of this heavy censorship about what we say, definitely go ahead and click the link at the top of the chat, blackcommunityspeak.com. It's completely free to sign up. All right. Also, I want everybody to get the likes up. So bam, 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 bam. You got to hit the like button. Bam, bam. You got to so we can get the likes up. I don't know. I don't even know how many likes we got now. Because when it's like this, it's like I can't figure out. We got 391, it seems like. So let's get the other, what? 700, 500 likes. There was absolutely no real pushback from any of them so-called sisters from nothing that he said. Not even their demeanor was taking it seriously. They were not offended. They were talking to him to try to understand his point. They were trying to relate to what he was saying and see his side of it. They were trying to have empathy in the conversation. They were trying to have a meaningful, progressive conversation with a man that holds beliefs and concepts and thoughts that are common to white supremacists without deviation. He only doesn't get super inflammatory on other people's podcasts. They know how to play politics. Thank you, 39 Dina. They know how to play politics. They know how to go along and get along to a certain degree. When they are in front of people, they know how to say what they say and not get so inflammatory that their message doesn't reach who they want it to reach. It's when they get on their own stuff, their own website, their own podcast, that they'll get to talking more, and it's extremely inflammatory. So just because they're able to show up on Pearly Things, show up on Fresh and Fit, show up on all these places and talk normally, does not mean that their mindset and viewpoint is not extreme. Thank you, HVAC. So why is Simp Johnson quiet on this one? If it was black men talking with a female white supremacist or Snow Bunny, he would lose his stuff. So there was no pushback. In point of fact, like I said, they were pretty much in full agreement with open white supremacist talking points. That right there is the real foundation and the real root of bedwenchery. Thank you, Zahira. So these hyenas trying to make their delusions legit. They are. The foundation of bedwenchery isn't sleeping with white men. It's not divesting, quote unquote, to white men. It is not about trying to get in relationships with white men. That is the surface sexual part of bedwenching. The real bedwenching that so many Black women have participated in is the agreement with white supremacy itself. Nobody want to talk about that part. The reason that they are so chummy is because this is also an ideology they hold. Hyenas are white supremacists in blackface. Thank you, United South Enterprises. And they act out being the white supremacists of the Black community. I did a whole live stream probably about 2 years ago about that. That Black women were the white supremacists of the Black community. It's not about sleeping with them. Just like them sleeping with Black women doesn't have any bearing on how they feel and what value system they hold and what cultural ideology and identity that they hold. That doesn't interrupt that. Just because a white supremacist will bed down a Black woman and even be in a relationship with her, that doesn't change what he believes and how he moves. That don't change nothing. Somebody else might think it changed something, but it don't. Because in the beginning of the clip, I didn't go back, and I'm probably not going to go back. Nick was talking about how he don't mind having, he said it, I don't mind, I like women from everywhere, including Black women. They pretty. But I won't date them because I want children. And the children that I have to be white. So I won't date them seriously. I have sex with them, but I won't date them seriously. Thank you, Ms. Zahira, again. So not sure if you saw the previous super chat, but taking a white supremacist with a name like Fuentes serious is problematic in and of itself. And see, I explained that back when Pearly things. There are white Hispanics. There are white Spaniards. Spain is a European country. Mexico is not. But Spain is a European country. Italy, part of Europe. They consider that to be European. So when they be white over here, they have accepted the extension of being white here as a social construct. He is white. So therefore, he embodies the value system of white supremacy. He white. Fuentes, don't let that name throw you off. He white. And he know he white. Just like a O'Reilly is white. An O'Malley is white. Right? So don't let the Fuentes part throw you off. Because we think they something else, but they white. Anybody whose lineage is hails down out of Spain, because Spaniards are white. But let me get back to my point. The reason the bad wenchery goes beyond them even grinning and skinning in his face. It goes beyond them twerking on him. It goes beyond old girl kissing him. It go beyond that. That's just Black women's outward display of affection towards colonizers that they agree with. They agree with every white supremacist talking point. How do you think white supremacy as a whole has gotten Black women to play that role in the community, to be destructive in the community, to be the bomb that blew up in the community? Because it would take a long time for us to suspect her of white supremacy because she's not white. And we think that she is having the same experience with white people and the same relationship with white people that everybody else has, and she has not. She has not. She's the one that glommed on to feminism. Feminism is what? What is feminism, y'all? What is it a part of? What has feminism always been a part of? What did I say it was? It's white supremacy. She is a white supremacist. I don't know why nobody is surprised about white supremacists getting together in agreement just because some of them don't look white. Is that what we letting throw us off? We didn't watch nothing but a panel of white supremacists that were talking and agreeing with white supremacy because they agree with white supremacy. They agree. What is the target of white supremacy? Who's the main target? Who's the main target? Who is the main target to be destroyed under white supremacy? Who? Black men. Black men have always been the number one target of white supremacy. White supremacist systems and actions, the biology of it. Okay, let's go into the teaching. The biology that is purported through white supremacy says that biologically Black men are inferior to white men, particularly as it pertains to intelligence. That somehow Black men are biologically wired to be less intelligent than Black men, even though they are physically dominant. So this is even where the trope come from. The big galoot, the big old brawny dude, but he's stupid. We know that trope. That's where that comes from. All of the pseudoscience that white supremacists have involved themselves in throughout history. We are still operating in the pseudo-medical science. We operate on a system that was created by a white man named Flexner. His Flexner report is the basis for modern medicine and the way in which it is carried out, because he attacked Black men's approach to medicine, which was holistic. This is where we get the whole thing about looking down on herbs and, natural remedies and home remedies not working versus pharmaceutical remedies that never work. But we are trained to believe that if you go to a traditional doctor that's going to supply you pills, that somehow those pills with all of those crazy side effects is better than going to a holistic Black man who know what he's talking about to heal you. This is why that people didn't like Dr. Sebi. People was questioning whether Dr. Sebi's, cures were valid or not, because he wasn't a white doctor. He was a Black man that understood biology. So when they talk about, let's go back to the chart, the bioculturon basis of white supremacy, the biology, culture, and environment of it. Okay, biologically, Black men are attacked. They are attacked physically. We see that in modern day with police shootings. Even citizens are getting in on the act of randomly deleting Black men. Jordan Neely being one of the most notable in recent years. It's just a couple months ago. So biologically, Black men have been the targets, okay? Culturally, what is understood about Black men? Culturally, all of these negative tropes, all of these negative perceptions, the negative imagery, the negative appearance value. All Black men are thugs. All Black men are rapists. All Black men are criminals. All Black men are robbers. All Black men, are bad fathers. They are not good husbands. They are neglectful. They are abusive. They are, all of everything negative that you can think of is put forth about Black men. We talked about Birth of a Nation, and that being the start culturally of perpetuating these negative appearance value images. Black men have yet to shake those images. Thank you, PCS. At Black women and others like them are often arrogant and mean to people towards Black men. She cannot birth a child that looks like him. It defeats the purpose of white supremacy. Actually, well, first of all, let me thank you. Thank you for your support. However, Black women having Black children, particularly Black boys, is the help. It is the driving force of white supremacy. That's a part of the deal. That is what has allowed her to survive it herself, because she has to give the system food. The food that she gives the system is her children. The white man is always her baby daddy. She gives them back to him. She gives the boys back to him through the prison system, through the court systems, through the penal system. And she gives the girls back to him through the educational system, where she can be indoctrinated into white supremacy. That is a part of her deal. That's the deal. That is her value to white supremacy. She must birth. This is why we back to the culture. We back to the culture. I'm sorry. We back to the culture. What's the cultural piece? Part of culture is your family. Black women do not want families, but they will birth children. They openly say, I don't want to be a wife. However, I want to have children. What is the other goal of white supremacy? To destroy whose family unit and thus community and strength and power base? What has been the other goal? The other goal is to destroy utterly the Black family. What better way than to indoctrinate feminism to Black women, where they would openly engage in the destruction of the Black family by being too obstinate to marry, by not having any value towards marriages. You have to change Black women's minds. This is why they gave them strong and independent as a particular little twist in feminism that other feminists do not have. White feminists don't say that. If they happen to be Asian, if they happen to be any other ethnicity other than Black and still a feminist, only Black feminists say they are strong and independent and don't need a man. This mindset alone has broken the Black family. That mindset alone has broken it. Because with that mindset, she does nothing that is conducive to the construction of a family. She does everything conducive to its destruction. Everything. So anytime a Black man says what he needs out of a wife, she goes out of her way to do the opposite thing and be the opposite of that. Even to the point where when Black men are saying, we just want our women to have a respectable, to have a respectable reputation as women and not this twerking and stuff like that people see as hoes and all that kind of stuff. They'll push against that because a respectable woman can get married. This is what's problematic with the Keke Palmer situation, because Black women are pushing back saying, well, as a mother, why should she be respectful? Why does her being a mother supposed to make her more respectful as a woman? We don't want to be respectful as women. Because again, respectful women can get married. Respectful women are the women who want to be wives and mothers, who are the support systems that are utilized to build strong families and thus strong communities. So white supremacy has ever been, first, an enemy to the Black man specifically. Secondly, it has made every stride to break every road to Black families. It has attacked from the male side and it has attacked from the female side. It has attacked Black men financially and socially to try to make Black men financially obsolete. Keep him in a sort of a slave class where it is difficult for him to get into the upper echelons of society where he make more money. Black men have spent a whole lot of time having to go way around the block to do the same thing that other men go in a straight line for. Cutting them out of job markets, cutting them out of industries, cutting them out of, you know what I mean? To force them into the school to prison pipeline. So school does not help Black men get ahead. It puts them in the system. And this is why you will see a lot of Black men eventually leave school. They'll go through grammar school and they'll go through high school, but they won't participate in college education and things of that nature because these things take them away from prosperity, not towards it. So they have to find a different way. The school system, the educational system is not there to help Black men. So when Black women say, well, why don't Black men enroll in school and to get ahead? He can't do that. The educational system is not designed to help him. And this is where we get into the utilization of the environment, how white supremacy is utilized in the environment. When we talk about the legality, when we talk about the law of the land, when we talk about all of these industries, when we talk about the banking and the business industries, the educational institutions, all of these different things, all of these various housing and government institutions and things of that nature, okay? So when we talk about that kind of thing, this is where we're getting the environmental factors that's fighting Black men. Black women participate in all three areas against Black men. Y'all gotta understand that. She participate actively in it. So when you see these bed wenches hee-hawing and TTing and kikiing, all that they doing, all that we're seeing is the part that they don't say out loud. All of them agree with it. They are white supremacists. They're not acting like white supremacists. They are white supremacists. Nothing is more important than to the hyena clan than the destruction of Black men and the Black family. And the only part that they can't understand is that white people don't like them either. So the promise to ingratiate her into white womanhood and whiteness, she'll never get that. She'll never get that. She will never get the validation and the acceptance. All that she will get is used in order to do this. But she gotta buy into it 100%. Not halfway. Can't be a halfway crook. She gotta do it whole. She gotta come to agreement with white supremacy in her heart, or else she won't do it. She won't. There'll be a limit to where she go to destroy her people, because she'll see Black people as her people. As a white supremacist, she does not have any relatability to the Black community. It's not her community. That's why she don't got no problem destroying it. It don't belong to her. She don't feel no affinity to it. I think I missed some super chats. Let's see. Decent, thank you. So let me tell you this: a Black man who has a sense of direction or a sense of willing to learn something and not look to crash out is looked at as crazy. This is true. Thank you, Saint. Said white supremacists know that a matriarchy has never and will never succeed. I laugh when they say we are leaders. Thank you again. PCS brother says, I understand and agree from that point of view. I was looking at it from a white reproduction standpoint. This is true. And thank you, Joshua. Said this live needs to go viral ASAP. This information you putting out is important. Thank you so very much. I knew what you meant, but I had to put that information out there. I had to say it like that. He doesn't want children with her, because even though he's the father and they'll be white, if they don't look white, that don't do nothing for him. That's why you see a lot of white supremacist males won't really deal with Black women beyond the sex, and they do their best not to have children with them. They do their best with that. Thank you, Big Cheese. That since this live might be your greatest one yet, fire. I've learned much today. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. Greatly appreciated. Greatly appreciated, Big Cheese. All right. So he's going to have white kids with a black woman. He's going to have white kids with her. Like, look at Meghan Markle's mom and dad. Her mother's dark skinned. Her dad is white. Meghan Markle is, you can barely tell the melanin in her. So you are what your father is. Whose job it is, there are some white men who are called upon to have children with black women. The purpose is not to build a family. The purpose is to reintroduce superior genealogy into their bloodline again so that it can survive. That is the basis of white supremacy. So the basis of feminism is white supremacy, but the basis of white supremacy is genetic survival. That is what it is. Feminism has its root and purpose in white supremacy, but the foundation of white supremacy is genetic survival. They know this is the whole purpose of colonization, because if they're left on their own, they're not gonna live. Do we understand that? All that other stuff just come with the territory, taking of land and human trafficking and all that kind of stuff. They need to control you biologically, but they cannot exercise control, full biological control, without employing the other two things, cultural and environmental control. The reason why they want you controlled biologically is for breeding purposes, not so you can breed. They want to put a cap on that. That's called eugenics programs. They want to put a cap on that. That's why they put Planned Parenthood in black neighborhoods and call it health care. They don't want you reproducing for the sake of you. They want you reproducing for the sake of them. So some of the children and offspring go to serve the system. The other ones come to serve them for the biological piece. They need to be able to breed with you at will. Women are more easily manipulated than men. So when we introduce all of the various nuances of white supremacy, what you do is you manipulate the female into feeling like the white man is above all. So she will willingly come to bed with him no matter how he oppress her or black men or her children. She'll continue to do so. They implant a white supremacist inside of you to do their bidding. They not nowhere one-on-one with black people trying to convince them of nothing. All you get, what you do is you do it culturally. This is why I keep talking about a biocult Iran. The use of biology, culture, and environment together is the key to changing entire groups of people by transforming their value system. Make things valuable to them that are valuable to you, even if it is detrimental to them in reality. This is why I keep saying that the lost value system is white supremacy depicted, because this is the value system of white supremacy. The spirituality has no truth. They're not operating in truth. Okay? Everything is built on lies. But they got to infect you with the lost value system so that you can perpetuate on your own. It benefits them. It destroys you in the process. Black people are destroyed specifically because of the lost value system. We are involved, we are steeped, and we don't want to come out. Because we don't even think it's nothing wrong with that value system. We don't think it's nothing wrong with it. We think that's what we supposed to be doing. We literally think that wealth and money, not even wealth, just money, we literally think that that's what we're supposed to be getting, and that's the most important thing in the world. We literally think that. We literally think that leisure is also one of the most important things in the world we could be doing. We literally think that spirituality is of no importance at all. We literally believe that. We believe this. We believe it, and we act on it. So don't be alarmed when you see bed wenches doing what bed wenches do, because understand that they not just agreeing and because they like him. They agree with him because they are also white supremacists. So that's my take on the whole Nick Fuentes thing. Hopefully some people got some stuff out of it. Make it go viral. Share it everywhere. Jump down in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe to the channel if you have not. Once again, I'm your host, The Crimson Cure, and this was my perspective. Bye-bye, Crimsonites.